Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining tonight's homeowners webinar. Uh, just making sure that everyone can hear me okay. It looks like I can be heard. Great. Um, I'm Stephanie Nakasani Ramsey. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Office of Recovery. I want to welcome you to the our third overall homeowners meeting and second webinar. So as I think I said this in the first one last month, we are still learning this platform a little bit. I want to thank you all for your patience as we try to improve on this platform. Before we get started into the agenda, I kind of wanted to go over a few things about these WebEx functions that you're probably seeing on your screen right now. If you're on a desktop, to the right, the bottom right, you should see or to the right side of the screen, you should see a chat box. For everyone here, it is not turned on. We just don't want to have distractions, people spamming the chat sort of thing. So it is turned off. But if our presenters or panelists have something they want to post there, like a website that they want to direct you to, or a phone number that's not on the slides that they're talking about, they can post it in there and you'll be able to see it. So they do have that option. And then below that, you should see a Q&A box. And if you don't see that, there's actually 3 dots at the bottom right of your screen that should open up the Q&A box. You can send questions at any time, but just to let you know, we will be addressing them at the end of our webinar after our presentations. Please, when you submit a question, I want to make sure you're submitting them to all panelists. There's a pull down menu. You don't want to send it to an individual panelist. You want to send it to all panelists. And the reason for that being is we're actually collecting all those questions. So we're going to have our moderators be able to see the questions so they can collect them, and then we can go ahead and ask those questions during the Q&A. So please, again, make sure that when you submit a question, it is addressed to all panelists. And then we can kind of go into tonight's agenda, if we can get that slide up. So first off, we're going to have Colonel Swenson with USACE to introduce a video, a really cool video you might have seen it a couple of weeks ago, but I know some people couldn't see it. So we'll be presenting that video tonight. And then next we'll have our updates from our infrastructure group. We have Kimo Landgraf here from the Department of Water Supply, as well as Shane Agawa from the Department of Environmental Management. Then we also have Annie Aviles from All Hands and Hearts to go over their ineligible debris removal service that was announced last night at the community meeting. And then we also have Janet Golrick from HUD to talk about the upcoming mortgage assistance event that's going to be at the Hyatt, I believe Friday and Saturday. And then we also have Nick Carroll from CNHA, who will go over their website and the services they offer. They do really great work. So that will be the last presentation we'll have. And then we'll kind of go over a few informational things and then go into our Q&A portion after that. And so let's see. Oh, yes, our panelists. I'm sorry, you can go back to the panelists there. Yeah, so in addition to our panelists, our presenters, I'm sorry, we have panelists who will be participating in our Q&A portion. We have, in addition to Timo and Shane, we also have John Smith and Jordan Molina from our infrastructure group. We have Mike Renner here from 4Leaf for your permitting questions. We have, she's not on right now, but we do hope to have her on a little bit later, is Kate Blystone from Planning Department. We also have Wendy Talmodo, who is head of our co-leads for our housing group. We also have Everett Balmores from MEMA. And yeah, that's the other people, are all presenters. So they will stay on to be able to answer questions as well. Next slide, please. All right, and just before we get started, I wanted to remind everyone about the final neighborhood planning workshop that's being held this Saturday at Lahaina Cafeteria. It's at the normal time, 3 to 5:30 p.m. This is our fifth and final one. Please, if you can, carpool. It's going to be, I think we're going to have a very fairly large turnout to this. It's a big one. It addresses the historic business districts. It's an opportunity for Lahaina residents and the community members at large to share their thoughts about the future of this area. It's not just one particular neighborhood like how it's been in the past. Obviously, as you can see by the map there, it's this whole area. It has to do with a lot of important things. So please attend if you can. It's all going towards helping, gathering community feedback for the long-term recovery plan for Lahaina. And it's, for your information, with taking all this information from from these 5 workshops, they're going to create a draft recovery plan using this information. And that's going to be targeted for public release in the fall. And then the final after public input will be at the end of 2024. Excuse me. Next slide, please. So if you can't make it to the workshop or have missed any of the previous workshops for your specific neighborhood, or even if you have more to share, you went to a workshop but you're like, hey, I actually had more that I wanted to share. There is an online version that you can participate in. You can just scan the QR code there. It'll take you straight to the workshop page. You can also access the workshop page through mauirecovers.org/Lahaina, and that will be open for feedback until June 30th. Right, and I'll turn over things to Colonel Swenson.
Aloha, Lahaina. I'm just going to show that video I showed 2 weeks ago at the Wednesday meeting for those who may not have been able to see it, or those that may not have been able to make the meeting. This video, which will roll here in a second, just shows an overview of the clearance that's been going on in Lahaina town. It's about 2.5 weeks dated, so we've made more progress in the past 2.5 weeks, but it'll give you a good visual of how many lots we have cleared, completed, and the few that are left to clear. Can you go ahead and run the video? So what you see here is that everything in green has been completed. That means the ROE has been returned to the county. Everything in yellow has been cleared, waiting that final step. And everything that's red is eligible for the debris clearance program, and we're still working on those. So you can see there at the bottom of the screen, it's Como My Street. We're working on that last red property this week, and we should have that whole street done shortly. So I hope what you've taken away from that overview is just the number of properties that have been cleared and completed to date. Again, this is Como Mai, and that property you see right there on the right-hand side is the last one. This just shows an overview of King Kamehameha III and down by the wharf. And in a second, we'll pan over to this is the school. For those who haven't seen it, this is the temporary King Kamehameha III school that we built up on the north side. Okay, thank you. Look forward to answering your questions.
All right, thank you, Colonel. Next, we have Kimo Langra from the Department of Water Supply.
Aloha, everyone. Kimo Lange, Deputy Water Supply. So as you can see, on the Lahaina meeting on the 12th, we amended an unsafe water advisory for area in Wahikuli, and that area is area L6B. It's along Ainakea Road between Kaniao and Wahikuli Road. So the area is now drinking water, is safe to drink, It meets all the standards. We recommend that anyone in your home flush your water for at least 15 minutes. Next slide, please. So currently we are working on Lahaina Ludo Road. We are adding 4 hydrants along Lahaina Luna Road. The areas were determined between the fire department and the water department. We are also replacing 18 service laterals, and we are upsizing a main water line connection for Kahula Place so that we will eventually upsize the line on Kahula Place. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimo. And next we have Sheena Gao from the Department of Environmental Management.
Good evening, everybody. Shane Agawa, Director of Environmental Management for the county. Tonight I'll be giving an update on where we are with our infrastructure for wastewater and our repairs and recovery. So on this slide, it shows you 2 areas that we updated from the last update we had about 2 weeks ago. You can see one lot was turned gray. And again, to remind you, when a lot is gray, that means there is a sewer service from the county fronting your lot, but the lot was not connected to the county sewer service. In the bottom, in that oval, you'll see Kukua Street. We just activated a row of lots on Kukua. Next slide, please. This is another area that we just activated. This is off of Limahana Place, where Pizza Hut, Napa, the old train station area. Next slide. And we have been doing work on Lahaina Luna Road. Our crews just finished sewer line repairs in the vicinity of 530 Lahaina Luna Road, which is a little bit south of the intersection with Kilauea Street. Just a few more updates that are not on the slides. So our wastewater crews are continuing to perform CCTV inspections of the lines that the EPA could not get to and defer to us. So that is ongoing. That is just to make sure that the lines are free of debris, to assess damage and so forth. We are doing in-house repairs. We just finished the one on Lahaina Road, as I mentioned. There are 2 more repairs that our crews will be doing. One is off of Paoa Street, which is near the entrance to the old Konoa Senior Center. And the other repair that our crews will be doing in the near future is in the vicinity of 914 Kukua Street. The last update I wanted to give is we just had our bid opening today for the contract to repair all the sewer lines that were damaged in Lahaina. There were 3 bidders. Our wastewater reclamation division is in the process of vetting the bids, and hopefully we can select one of the contractors bidding on that and working on the contract. That's all I have, and I'll be here for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. And next we have Annie from All Hands and Hearts to talk about their natural debris removal program.
Aloha, everybody. I'm really hopeful that our Wi-Fi will be strong enough to bear with us for this. So yeah, if someone could please click to the next slide. Yeah, so just a little bit about who we are. All Hands and Hearts is a volunteer-powered nonprofit that works alongside communities after disasters. So we really were community-driven, volunteer-powered, and we are really grateful. We've been on island since September of last year, supporting the efforts of different local nonprofits. So we really see our job as being first and foremost listeners and understanding how we can use resources that we have to fill existing gaps. And something we've been hearing for the last couple months is the need for the removal of ineligible debris. So we're really excited. We rolled this out officially yesterday at the community meeting, but So we are offering a free service to anyone who has gone through the Army Corps of Engineers program. And so we try to reduce the financial, emotional, physical burden of removing that remaining debris. We want to make sure that we can free a little bit of capacity to focus on your rebuild, your recovery, whatever that looks like. On the next slide here is just how to apply for it. Again, it is a free service. This link, or you can click on this link, or you can scan this QR code. The information all lives on the county website as well that I can drop in the chat. But yeah, so it's a quick Google form that just to ask some basic questions for us to get your information. Like I said, we just rolled this out yesterday. We're really excited. We've already received 20 intakes of people who are interested. And so yeah, we're hoping that in the next couple of weeks we'll start getting some assessments scheduled. The way it will work is we will meet with the property owner and do an assessment of the property. We'll draw up a map to really understand what are the things that you want to stay and what are the things that you want gone. We recognize that these are people's homes, and there may be items that are left on the property that have sentimental or emotional value. So you as the property owner are really the driving force of this. So you would say, I want this tree, but this wall should go. We draw up a map, make sure that we're all on the same page about things. And then at that point, we would be able to give you an estimated timeline of when we would be able to work on your property. Each case will be different depending on if there's a need for contractors, if we have the skills within our volunteer group at that time. So yeah, these are a couple of questions. Who's eligible? So like I mentioned, you do have to have that capital C complete and a closeout package from the Army Corps of Engineers. It is free to all property owners. And we will be able to remove most types of debris at this point. The things that we won't be able to do would be any kind of large structures and pools. But everything else we are hoping to be able to remove. So yeah, hopefully we can find creative solutions for the items that are left behind. And as I mentioned, the process will totally vary depending on our capacity and the needs from each property. So we'll be sure to give you an estimate following that assessment when we walk through the property with you. That initial assessment and then at the end of our work will be the only times that you'll have to be on site with us. It will be considered like an active work site. So anyone who is on site while we're doing the work would have to adhere to our safety standards. But if people want to be on property to see what is going on, this is your property. So you don't have to be there, but if that's something that you're interested in, of course, this is your property, and we would love to have you. So yeah, if you all have any questions, we'll stick around for the Q&A at the end. I think those are the only slides I have. Yep, that's it. Thank you very much. Mahalo.
All right, thank you, Annie. Okay, next we have Janet Golrick from HUD.
Aloha, everyone. I'm Janet Golrick. I'm the National Disaster Coordinator at HUD. And I would like, let's go to the next slide, please. So I would like to let you know about the mortgage assistance event that's being sponsored by the state of Hawaii's Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs Division of Financial Institutions. And the event will be tomorrow, June 28th, and Saturday, June 29th. Each day it'll run from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It will be held at the Hyatt Regency Maui here in Lahaina. As you can see from the slide, there'll be HUD will be there, USDA, SBA, Fannie and Freddie, as well as local lending institutions, as well as mortgage companies, and we'll also have housing counseling agencies available as well. You do not have to register. You can just show up. and there'll be representatives of these organizations that can discuss your mortgage, or if you're interested in getting a mortgage, these representatives will be available to talk with you. So look forward to seeing everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janet. Unfortunately, I think Nick could not make it. I don't see him on here. I think he might have been delayed in getting to his destination. So I think we'll just have to move on, and hopefully we'll have a CNHA back in another webinar. So I kind of wanted to go over a few things before we get into our Q&A. Waiakuli cesspool inspections, just a reminder for everyone. If you're interested in the EPA's Waiakuli cesspool inspections, please go to mauirecovers.org/wastewater. There you're going to be able to find more information on the program, which offers inspections of cesspools in the Waiakuli subdivision at no cost to homeowners. You will need to submit an ROE, a right of entry. So right there in the green button there, that's where you can download the form for that. And so, we just encourage you to please take advantage of this service. If you have friends, family that live in Waiakuli, please let them know, spread the word. It's a really great program that will help cut down on costs. So please, again, just spread the word if you can. Again, mauirecovers.org/wastewater. Next slide, please. And the county's Department of Finance just wanted us to remind you that let's see, property owners. Wanted to remind property owners that of the transfer of home exemption that was announced a couple of weeks ago with the passage of Bill 75. Maui County property owners whose homes were destroyed or made uninhabitable by the wildfires, the August wildfires, have the option to transfer their home exemption to another property they own and are occupying as a principal residence in Maui County. It's a little, you can see it pretty well. I was afraid you couldn't really see it, but right down there, to request a transfer, please contact the Real Property Assessment Division by email. The email right there, rpa@co.maui.hi.us, or by phone at 808-270-7297. Next slide, please. We wanted to get into a few frequently asked questions. So first off, I wanted to go over, how do I get my closeout package? This is one that we've gotten quite a bit in community meetings and in emails. It's actually very simple. I think some people are waiting to get an actual letter sent to them or some sort of package sent to them or mailed to them. That's not exactly the process, which is actually very simple. What you do is you go to mauirecovers.org and you'll see the pull down menu right on that front page there. And if you just hover your mouse over Get Updated there in that first red circle, you want to click on where the other circles is right there where it says Closeout Package, and it will take you. You can take the next slide. It'll take you to a map. In the top slide there, or the top image there, it'll take you to a map, the Consolidated Debris Removal Closeout Package map. And there you can type in your address in the circle, the red circle there in that little bar. And then it'll take you to your parcel. You just click on your parcel. If it's orange, that means your package, your closeout package is able to be downloaded. So you would just click on that parcel, and then you can scroll down, and it'll have that pop-up window there. You scroll down, and you'll see where that circle is. That's where the PDF is, and you can just go ahead and download that. So I hope that answers the questions for some people. Again, it's a question that we get, every so often, and I just wanted to get it out there so that everyone knows that it's actually very, very simple. The next question here, this is one that actually came up a couple times. I know at least once in a community meeting. Just wanted to get it out there. And I believe actually Nancy Kovard addressed this last night when she presented at the community meeting, but just for everyone's awareness, the question is it safe to eat fruit off the trees in the burn area? And the short answer is yes. I'm not going to read through all of this. This is the science that she provided to us. So if you want to read a little bit more, we'll leave this for just a little bit longer, just so you can kind of read through it a little bit if you want more information as to the science behind it, but short answer is yes. And this video will, this webinar will be up for, is being recorded. It will be it'll be uploaded to our website, so you'll be able to go back and reference this if you need to. But that's the answer there. So we can go to the next slide. And actually, I wanted to bring in Carla Peters to address these questions that came in, actually, I think during the last webinar that she was able to get answers for. So Carla, you can.
Thanks, Stephanie. Aloha, everyone. So the question did come up, being a retired carpenters union, possessing a knowledgeable and proficient skill set, can the rebuild permit be by owner builder? And the answer is yes. You may apply for a rebuild permit as an owner builder. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, this is also a question that Carla was able to answer, but I can go ahead and read it. How long will continued rental assistance be available from FEMA? And the answer that Carla was able to find is continued rental assistance is available up to 18 months from date of declaration. So that would basically be February 10th, 2025. Thank you so much, Carla, for getting those answers. Let's see. All right, and now we can start the Q&A. Let me just go ahead and get one of the first questions out of the way here. So we'll start off with something that was pre-submitted through our form. Thank you so much for everyone who's able to submit questions before the webinar. So we'll start off with, let's see here, asking, this might be for Mima or maybe Jordan or John, when will roadblocks be taken down as soon as all the debris is cleared, in particular for Waihikulī?
Stephanie, I can take a stab at that. So the roadblocks, or well, if you're talking about checkpoints, then this is where I can answer that. Checkpoints are going to be redistributed once it is safe after debris is cleared. And I believe either Jordan or John can answer the safety piece with regarding the rebar and the nails. But once all of that, the area is safe, then we will move the checkpoints and go have the zone unrestricted.
This is John. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, John.
Okay, just to add to that, yeah, we're working with Everett and Kono and Amos on clearing and making sure that each road and each sidewalk is safe. So we did Como Mai already. It's open. It's quite the process to go through and make sure that the sidewalks are safe too. So we want to make sure that when we open it, that pedestrians are safe too. But in particular, Waihikulī, it is one of the next ones that we are targeting. So I would say, if I had to guess, it would be August, September timeframe. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. Let me get on to another question. This one could be for Kimo and Shane or Jordan to elaborate on. Lahaina Luna Road will be open in August to through traffic. One, does this mean the infrastructure repairs to both drinking water and wastewater will be restored prior to Lahaina Luna becoming a street filled with traffic? If not, then please explain how and when these repairs will be completed for the residents, for these residents. And two, how does the county decide where the new fire hydrants will be placed? And have you contacted homeowners about this?
Thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, so right now, as Kimo mentioned earlier and Shane mentioned earlier, the wastewater work is done, the water work is underway, and the repaving work will also be occurring with over the next few weeks in anticipation for the August opening. Um, and so regarding the fire hydrants, yeah, so water supply and fire department had identified the gaps in the hydrant coverage. And so those are identified and efforts are underway to start filling those gaps. And so the first work on that is those hydrants going in on Lahaina Luna Road by water supply. Thanks, Stephanie.
So, and this is Kimo, just to add on to what Jordan said, we should be done with our work by July 2nd.
All right, thank you so much. You see here. Oh, this is also, this is kind of a similar question. So I'm kind of going through the questions here, and some of them are the same. Let's see. I don't know if Janet from HUD could answer this question. This was actually a question that was submitted, I think for the previous homeowners meeting. It's asking, can HUD Section 8 voucher holders get an extension so they don't lose their voucher?
Sorry, I had trouble with my mute button. So you need to contact the housing authority and ascertain from them whether or not they are able to extend that voucher. It is at the housing authorities to make that determination.
All right, thank you so much, Janet. Let's see. Oh, I see. Let's see. We have Nick actually, Carol, in here. If we can just pivot for a quick second, Nick, if you would like to do your presentation, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and turn your camera on, and you can do your presentation quickly. Sorry, Sarah, for that quick change of pace there.
Hi, everyone. Sorry that I'm late. The county got to stop using WebEx. I don't like WebEx. It's so hard to use. But thanks everyone. My name is Nick Carroll. I'm the Chief of Staff over the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. So by way of background, CNHA, we have a bunch of different programs that are trying to support our Maui community, specifically towards housing. So we have a bunch of different programs, like our host housing support program, our gap assistance program, where we're trying to support those who are unable to pay for the full amount of rents that's being charged right now, and trying to help to subsidize some of that. We're also building temporary units, both in Lahaina and in Kahului right now. So it's right now a total of 66 units that we're building up. And we created this website called helpingmaui.org. And this website was supposed to be a one-stop shop to help folks who have been impacted with things mostly and majority revolving around housing needs. So, with that, we have a portal where if you go ahead and if you're still in need for immediate housing, you could go ahead and sign up through the portal and just provide us your information and your needs as far as how many bedrooms you need, what's your budget, what's your the location that you prefer to live in. And our team, who is at the Kakua Maui Resource Center over at Maui Mall in Kahului, would go ahead and look through that list and be able to help, try to help to identify maybe some housing that might be available. The other thing that's on this website is helpingmaui.org slash, I believe it's rebuild, helpingmaui.org slash rebuild. And this page of the site is for those who are homeowners who are ready to rebuild and kind of help to navigate the process, because I mean, we're building temporary units on Maui right now, and even for me, it can be a very a confusing process. So what we're trying to do is trying to make it as simple as possible for homeowners. And, albeit I think that we all have to understand that it's not going to be the same scenario for every single person who's going through the rebuild process, but we're hoping to provide the basic steps to make it a little bit more easy for when you do go through that process. So this website here, I think the coolest part about this website is that it has a bunch of different plans on here, architectural plans that are already approved by the county. So these plans span from 1 bedroom to 3 bedroom. I think we also have some 4 bedroom. Oh, we also have a 6 bedroom one too. But when you go ahead, maybe I'll share my screen. I think that might just be helpful. Hang on 1 second, guys. Okay, so if you can see this here, maybe well, if someone could let me know.
We can see it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is the page here that it has a bunch of different architectural plans that you folks could go ahead and look through and learn more about the plan itself and how what it looks like in the design too. So there's a few different architectural firms that have volunteered their time and their plans too. So these are some of them are free, and then some of them are at a reduced rate. So like this one is from Peely Group, and it provides you kind of what it looks like. Another one that might be able to see is from Hawaii Off Grid. That might be one of this one here. Yeah, so like this one here is from Hawaii Off Grid, so you could see like what it might look like inside, and it provides you a little bit of understanding of what steps you have to go through with the rebuild process. So selecting your plan, site verification. So that means maybe there's some studies that you might have to do with your property, like a topo study or and whatnot, or checking what the boundaries are. So like a survey. And then these architectural firms will kind of help you through that process to understand what the things that you need to do. So once the site verification is done, then what they do is they help you to package it so you could go ahead and submit your plan to permitting. So at that point, then it's up to the permitting office there, and then the things are out of your hands. But the other things that are part of you that you can do and that's in your control is identifying who your builder is going to be afterwards too. So this site also has a bunch of different builders that we've have gotten to know, and there's going to be more that come on to this site as well. But you could go ahead and look through it, kind of learn more about what they do, some of the history of the products that they've had in the past. But one of my biggest recommendation though is when you do try to find a general contractor is to go ahead to do some due diligence or research on them. So that's where this DCCA professional vocational licensing thing comes in. So this is where you go ahead and learn, okay, is the guy that I'm hiring, is he a licensed contractor? And then you could go, and there's other things that you could do as well, but I highly recommend that you go ahead and learn and get to know your contractor. So that way, because this is what you're doing, is you're building a relationship, and you're going to be in this relationship for months, and to be able to know that you could trust the person to be making smart money decisions for you, and also be building a good product for yourself, it's really good to go ahead and do that in the beginning to learn. So that's in your control, is trying to identify your builder. The other thing that might be in your control is the financing as well. So I know that every situation is different, whether you have insurance or you have money set aside for the build. But what we're trying to offer through this site as well are different options that you could go ahead and reach out to. So like Central Pacific Bank, they have people that are specifically targeted to support those in Lahaina and are very versed in the situation. So they have 3 different people that you could reach out to. Hawaiian Community Lending is a nonprofit organization that's going to be starting up a new program July 15th for those who have been or who are homeowners and have been impacted by the fires. So that there is going to try to help to support various other things. I guess I don't know too much about the program, so I would help. You could go to our website and go ahead and get to their link. But there's other people too. So there's other banks and lenders that you could reach out to, and it just provides you a resource. So we're hoping that this is a one-stop page for you to get to know the process of the rebuilding process a little bit more, and some of the other things that come with rebuild. But happy to answer questions. I'm hoping that I presented pretty well. I just got off the plane from Maui and just got back to the office, so sorry if it was a little bit scatterbrained.
Thank you so much, Nick. We really appreciate it. So I guess we can go back to our Q&A. Let's see, we can start with, let's see, another question was actually submitted both previously and also live tonight. At the May 30th webinar, it was announced that the SMA homeowner meeting had been canceled, and county would be reaching out to each individual SMA owner to assess their specific properties. When will county be contacting these SMA owners? We are Makai of the highway and have not received contacts. Mahalo. Kate, I believe, can answer that question.
Hey folks, I'm trying to get my camera going. Good evening, everybody. So thank you for that question. So I'm sorry for the miscommunication. That our intention was not to say that we would be contacting everyone directly. At some point in the not too distant future, end of July is what we're targeting. We will have a way for people to schedule time with a planner and do one-on-one conversations. These are largely going to be targeted at the shoreline properties, less towards the SMA properties, because there's a lot of properties. But in the coming weeks, we're going to have some solutions that we're proposing for some of the SMA properties to expedite those. One of those potential solutions that we're working on is with 4-Leaf to have them process our SMX permits. Some of the other ones are a little too sensitive right now, so I can't really speak to them, but they're just because we're working with our lawyers to make sure that we can actually do them. But we're working as fast as we can, because we know that so many of the properties were Makai of Honoapi Lani Highway, and we want to make sure that those properties can rebuild as quickly as possible. To be clear, when we do the expediting or the emergency permitting process with 4-Leaf, when we enter that process, those will be for properties that are not within the historic districts, not within the shoreline, and also not with flood issues. So it's really for those properties that can kind of move more quickly. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks we'll have another awesome solution that will make it go even faster for some folks. But that's what we've got right now, doing the best that we can. If you have questions about your property and want to talk to a planner right now, I've been giving our phone number out, much to the my poor planners are inundated, so be patient as we get back to you. But our phone number for the current planning division, which processes these SMA and shoreline permits, is 270-8205. That number again is 270-8205. You can call and ask us about the permitting process for your property as it is right now. Some of you may have heard that we have, thanks guys, some of you may have heard that we have new rules for the SMA, the special management area, and the shorelines areas coming out. Those are with our corporation counsel or our lawyers right now. Hope to get those signed in the next couple weeks, and then they will be effective 30 days afterwards. So, you can talk with the planners a little bit about what the shoreline rules and the SMA rules are for you now and what they will be like soon. We're still training staff on those new rules. So thank you for your patience. I know this is frustrating, and I very much appreciate your patience with this process.
Thank you, Kate. We'll shift a little over to this question might be for Jordan or John, or maybe even all hands and hearts. What are we supposed to do with all that gravel covering our lots when we start to rebuild and replant?
think I can take this one. So gravel is included in our scope of the ineligible debris removal. So if you can click on that link that takes you to the county website where you can find the link for our Google form. I can also just drop the Google form straight into here. But gravel is included in our scope. So please fill out that form so we can get your information and understand what's going on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if there's anyone who wants to add to that. If so, go ahead, or else I'll just keep on going to our next question. Let's see. This one might be for Jordan. Hi, they cleared our they cleared our lot. We're working on a drawing / permitting. But how are we going to get electricity when all the electricity poles are gone? Thank you.
The electricity poles are not gone. HECO had finished restoration on their distribution system, and so they are prepared to restore power as soon as you obtain your permits for your rebuild from the county. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jordan. This actually is a question for Janet from HUD. What if you are unable to attend the mortgage assistance event? Are there any virtual resources?
Yes, there is. Excuse me. Yes, so go to the various participants or your particular, housing counselor or lender, and they all have the ability to, they all have information on their website and folks that you can connect with and ask your questions that way or by phone as well.
Awesome, thank you so much, Janet. This one this is for Shane. Will sewer service be shut down when lines are being repaired? If shut down, is there a timeline and estimate on how long to repair?
Thank you for the question. It's based on the situation. Some lines will need to be shut down. However, the standard practice is to bypass the area that the repair is being worked on to keep the sewer service operational. So that is the preferred way. But there may be some instances where a temporary closure might occur, and we'll notify residents of that. But the quick answer is no. We'll try to bypass and keep the sewer service running.
Thank you very much, Shane. Go back to a few of the pre-submitted questions. This will probably be for maybe Leaf. Someone is asking, can I put a pre-made home on my property?
Yeah, this is Mike Renner. So unfortunately, that's a little bit of a loaded question. Pre-made could mean a lot of different things. Factory built housing is certainly permissible as a permanent structure. I also don't know if the question is based around temporary or permanent. So tough question to answer. Factory built's okay, modular's okay, panel built is okay, but those come from basically certified and qualified factories where these structures are inspected in the factory.
Stephanie, I'll just add that best way to get those kinds of answers is for people to contact For Leaf Direct situation and talk through their needs. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Next, we'll go to, I'm wondering if one of my moderators can put the number for the Recovery Permit Center in the chat for everyone. So it's right there for people. If you have any questions and you want to contact For Leaf directly, that would be the number to call.
You guys can put my 925 number there as well, and that's available after 5 p.m. That's a bit anytime that phone's on.
All right. Okay, and let's see this. Oh, this actually might be, I'm not sure if you can answer this, Mike. We have another question. Just someone who was curious, how many properties, if you know, how many properties have started their rebuild?
So the last count as of today, I believe we have 25 permits issued and another 70 plus, 72, 73 in the plan check process. And then of course, all the walk-in folks that we expect. With the traffic I've seen in the permit center, probably going to see another 10 to 15 next week beginning. And there's 3 homes that actually have their foundations in at this point. There's a couple other doing site work, and one of the homes is starting to frame walls.
Awesome, great news. Let me see here. This might be for Everett with Nima, or let's see here. This is I am trying to get a re-entry permit, but I don't live in Hawaii. I will be on Maui July 3rd to the 12th. This is my dad's property who did die in the fire. I am PR and just received the deed for the property in my name. Am I able to get a re-entry permit ahead of time?
I can actually definitely answer that question. Following the process that we've had since September, the reentry vehicle passes are issued directly to the homeowner or property owner. In this case, because of that deed transferred over, that would also apply to, I believe it is Megan, I think it was that submitted that question. So I'll put my email address in the chat, and we can work out any other details.
Awesome. Thank you, Everett. Let's see. This one may be for Wendy, if doing housing. Can you could you please provide information on the Maui County Ohana Assistance Program? Who qualifies? How many awards do you need the main dwelling on your property before being able to add your Ohana, or add your Ohana?
Hi, thank you for the question. Can you hear me, Stephanie?
Yep, we can hear.
This would be a Department of Housing question, and I not sure if it's been posted on the website. They have contracted with a vendor to manage that program. We will need to get back to you with a response. I'll let you know when I go to the website if I can find it, but I don't believe they posted it yet on the Department of Housing website. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me see here.
Hi, Stephanie, it's Carla.
Yes, hi, Carla.
For the Ohana Assistance Program, there will be a press release out soon.
All right, sounds good. So just sit tight. All right. Oh, this could be a question for Kimo. Will the fire hydrants be on separate lines than the residential?
So the fire hydrants are actually off the main line, of the main water lines that go through all of the subdivisions. It's really not separate from the residential. The residential, each property has a service ladder that services its meter.
All right, thank you, Kimo. We have a question for Nick. Nick, from CNHA, I guess regarding your presentation earlier, are these contractors charging similar price per square foot?
That's a good question. And to be honest with you, I don't know what they're charging per square foot. That would be something that that you would have to double check to see. Sorry, I don't have any more information.
No, no problem. All right, thank you so much, Nick, though. Yeah. And let's see here. This one is for Janet with HUD. Janet, you mentioned HUD certified counseling agencies will be in attendance at the DCCA event. Are you able to share which ones?
I do not know, but we can get back to you on those. I do not know which particular ones. I do know there are 2 that will be present at the event.
All right, Janet, we'll try to get that information to the person who submitted that question. This one is for Kimo, and actually, I think this might have been addressed in his presentation earlier, but it is probably worth reiterating. Can we submit a permit even if our water has not been cleared?
Yes, you can submit a permit even if you're still under the UWA. It won't stop. It won't hold up your permit.
All right, thank you so much, Kimo. Let me go back to these. Those were questions that were submitted today. So let me go back to a few of the ones that were pre-submitted. This is kind of a long one. So please bear with me as I kind of give this person's entire statement that he wanted to have read. It is my understanding that homeowners are able to apply for temporary housing permits, which are valid for 5 years. My question is about the requirements other than Maui fire compliance. Oh, what requirements other than Maui fire compliance are required for temporary housing structures? He kind of goes into building in Bali with, let's see, I've experienced designing and building with locally sourced bamboo. I've constructed a building in Bali using a combination of treated bamboo poles, concrete foundation, metal connections, and traditional windows, doors, and roofing materials. These buildings are extremely affordable, healthy, and beautiful. We have designed the buildings so that they can be taken apart and moved for disaster-prone areas like Maui. I would like to offer my design, project management, pro bono for families wanting to rebuild. So basically, I mean, it was, you know, he has these things that he would like to offer people, but I suppose that the main question is, would that be allowed? I'm not sure if Jordan or Four Leaf would be able to answer that question.
So as of right now, DSA will be intaking and processing the temporary permits. The requirements that are posted on Maui Recovers are valid at this point. It's fairly straightforward. You need a site plan. You have to make sure HECO can set you up with electricity. An electrician has to sign off that the work was done to code. Same thing with plumbing. We are currently working on the finalization of a above ground black and gray water tank program. That should be finalized fairly quickly. So I don't have the requirements in front of me, but I can certainly, I know the ones on Maui Recovers are current and valid.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. I guess we can move on to the next question. This is actually a couple of questions in one, so I'll read the first one first. I'm not sure. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go to the second question because the first one is HECO related. But the second one is, we just had the gravel spread on our property. Can we get the completion package expedited? I believe that would be a question for Colonel. We have our plans and permits, our permit and plans approved.
Yeah, we're working, thanks for the question. We're working as fast as we can to get the packets, paperwork turned back over to the county and FEMA so that homeowners can pull a permit and start construction. I don't think we can give one property over another priority. Certainly you can call our call center and we can kind of give you an indication of where you're at on the runway. We are moving very quickly through properties. I think we finished 17 today. We got to capital C. So they're coming, we're coming along. And our total number as of today for residential is 907. So I think if you just bear with us another week or two or three, we should have your packet complete.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colonel. A question, I'm not sure if this would be Mike again or Wendy. Can a group of residences be permitted altogether? Can we build in a development / economy of scale so it is more affordable?
Hi, this is Wendy. We are reviewing group sites. However, we permit group multiple dwellings for temporary based on a property. So each property will be issued a permit. So if you have multiple properties, it will entail multiple permits. So it's permitted by the property, not a permit per each dwelling. So again, Mike Renner mentioned that you can go to the MauiRecovers.org website and you can search under get updated. There's a housing and rebuild and click on the temporary and permanent housing, and then there's a you're going to see a square box that says place temporary housing unit and just follows those instructions. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. This one will probably be for Jordan. What will be done with debris on properties that did not sign up for either debris removal program?
So fortunately, at this point, we are only tracking 2 parcels left that have not signed up for either cleanup with USACE or the alternate program. And we are working to track down those 2 property owners. But if we are unable to get in contact with them, then we will be proceeding with enforcement under the debris removal ordinances, and will be which will lead to the cleanup of those properties by the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. This question would be for Kimo. Does the removal of the water buffalo inside Kahoma Village mean that the water has been officially deemed safe to drink?
Yes, Kahoma Village was cleared, I believe, at the end of December or beginning of January. It was actually amended for drinking.
All right, thank you, Kimo. This could be for Kate or possibly Jordan. What are multifamily properties? Oh, sorry. Why are multifamily properties considered commercial rather than multifamily? Like is it channel house condos? Sorry, let me reread that. Why are multifamily properties considered commercial rather than multifamily, like channel house condos is being?
Yeah, so essentially any type of structure that's not a single family home undergoes a different type of code review, which is effectively a commercial level code review. So that's why we consider those apartment and multifamily projects as commercial projects, just because they have additional requirements in their design and permit requirements beyond what a single family home will have to meet. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. This is a question for us here with the tech part. Can we please get a copy of the PowerPoint circulated? And yes, we will have the video as well as we can have the PowerPoint presentation up on Maui Recovers hopefully by the end of the week. So next we can go to, this one could be, I think it'd be for Mike. Is it true that if your permits for your home are 2018 or newer, you can use the same permits to rebuild?
That's accurate. So we're considering that a reissuance, and those would be held to the codes that the project was designed under, which would be, I believe, the 2012 family of codes. But yeah, it's a fairly straightforward reissuance process. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, this would be for Nick with CNHA. With the free plans, is there a rough building cost range?
Stephanie, Nick had to jump off.
All right, thank you so much for letting me know. We'll hopefully try to get that question answered in the future. Let's see here. This one may be for Jordan. Regarding restoration of power, we are planning to live in a temporary structure on our property, which does not require permitting, as we wait and prepare to rebuild. So, do we have to obtain our permit to rebuild before our power can be restored?
If you plan to habitate on your property in a temporary structure, you are required to get a temporary structures permit. If you obtain a temporary structures permit, you are able to get power restoration or temporary power from HECO. Otherwise, you'll need to obtain your permit for your permanent rebuild before HECO will restore power to your property. Thank you.
Oh, this is kind of going back to Jordan, actually. Again, with power questions. Are the power lines going to be underground or they stay above ground? There was no specific area given here.
HECO, as well as the county, are looking at opportunities to help fund additional undergrounding work explored. Nothing is active at this point in time.
All right, thank you. And Kate, I don't know if you wanted to elaborate any on that as far as from the planning side, if you had any sort of comments on that sort of thing.
You are going to have to repeat that question because I heard Jordan and then I'm sorry, I didn't hear the rest of the question. Go ahead. Sorry.
No problems. No problem. Someone was just asking about the power lines. Are they going to be underground? This is not for any specific area. Just talking about power lines. Are they going to be able to be underground or will they stay above ground?
Well, this might be a good opportunity to talk a little bit about the neighborhood workshop that's coming up on Saturday. That's our last day of neighborhood workshops, number 5 of 5. And we'll be talking about the Lahaina core area. And certainly there at each of our neighborhood workshops, there's been a table about utilities, and the question of undergrounding power lines has come up quite a bit. And so just encourage folks to come to that, and maybe our helpers can put this in the chat, but that is in the Lahaina Luna cafeteria on Saturday at 2:30. And there's also an online version. Oh, maybe there's that. There we go. We're going to have sorry, I missed the opening here. But yeah, that's great. And we also have an online version of this workshop. So if you're Zooming in from or WebExing in from far away, The online version of our workshop can be found at Ola Lahaina, or if you go to Lahaina, MauiRecovers.org, you can find it there. We can put the link to that online workshop in the chat. And if you have comments you want to say about these utilities and undergrounding utilities and where you think they should be undergrounded, that's a great place to get your thoughts in, and we'll consider that as part of creating the long-term recovery plan, which includes a bunch of projects to get Lahaina back on its feet. So that's how I can address that question.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kate. Yeah, we did go over that quickly at the beginning, but you know, always gets to get another pitch in there to attend the meeting. Let's see, kind of going back to some of our pre-submitted questions. This one may be for Mike. Is it ready to rebuild in this zone? And they're referring to zone 9E. My property location is along Lahaina Luna Road, corner of Keaka Place. Yeah, not sure if you answer that.
So that was.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I think you're cutting in and out. Yeah,
I'll jump in on that one.
Oh, okay.
Basically, the rebuilding is contingent upon your debris clearance and getting that closeout package. There's no restrictions based purely on zone.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Let's see. This one may be for our infrastructure leads, Jordan and John. The question is, why is the state and county not using this opportunity to not just shore up, but rebuild Lahaina's infrastructure for the future, meaning the next 20 plus years? Water treatment plant, wastewater pumps and pipes, roads, sidewalks, telecom, and electricity systems. I would rather just wait and know what. I'd rather just wait and know that when I rebuild a home, that we will actually be prepared for the future rather than just operating over and within old and soon to fail infrastructure systems.
Thanks, Stephanie. Those efforts are going to be part of the long-term recovery plan. But as far as being able to get people back on their properties and back in their homes, we have the efforts underway to restore that to support what previously existed in Lahaina. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, this question again to do with it might be for it might be for Farley, Jordan, Wendy. So someone can jump into this. It's a little bit of a longer question. What can I tell my permit clients that used to have non-conforming buildings like side setbacks and other issues that did not meet code but were permitted before? I understand that we need to meet new current codes, but are there any exceptions? Example, previous homes were built to zero lot line touching the home next door, no side setback at all. Given the existing lots were very narrow, and if we implement typical side setbacks, the allowable building width becomes very narrow compared to what they lost.
Yeah, I'll go first and then I'll let Kate finish up. From the building permit standpoint, yes, we are going to require you to build back to the current codes. But the matters regarding setbacks and conformities is in Kate's wheelhouse. Thank you.
And so it's going to be the same until we get to the point where we have a bill in front of the planning commission, or it's actually through all the planning commissions. It's now going to council. In fact, I signed the staff report today to go to council that will allow those nonconformities to be reconstructed over a longer period of time. So now you have to reestablish the nonconformity within a year. We are expanding that to 4 or 5 years. Each planning commission had a slightly different take on it. It will be up to council to figure out how they want to do that. So for now, you'd have to rebuild it within a year, but we anticipate that the council will be supportive of shifting how we do this and allow more time for that those nonconformities to be reestablished. So stay tuned for that. That bill will be in front of council soon.
All right, thank you, Kate. Let's see. This one may be for Wendy again. And of course, again, you can throw it to whoever you feel like may be able to answer it. We decided not to rebuild in Lahaina and are in escrow. I was told that there is a process being worked on to allow those of us who aren't rebuilding in Lahaina to go through an expedited process. Is there a timeline for this?
Sorry, Stephanie. Hi, it's Wendy. Yes, there is. We are working on a process. I expect we may need another couple weeks to finalize that process. But if they go ahead and submit it, and they're welcome to email me. So if they want to go ahead and submit it, and email me so I can track it, I will type my email in the chat. With the please email me the permit number, and once we implement it, I will let them know the next steps. But they can proceed with submitting a permit if they want to, or provide their permit number if they already submitted it. Sorry, Stephanie, I have to click everyone. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Okay, and we can move on to the next question. This will be for Shane. One, it's a two-parter. One, for people who had cesspools, can they remain, or are they required to change? Are they required to change them into septic tanks? Two, can homeowners move forward with building even though they aren't connected to the main sewer line? If they have a cesspool septic tank, will they be required to tie into the main sewer line? If a homeowner moves forward in building, at what point can they connect to their sewer to the at what point can they connect their sewer to the main line to get a final inspection?
Okay, well, that was a lot. Thank you for the question. So to answer the first question, if you have a cesspool, it depends if you are a gray area or a light blue on our wastewater map. If your lot is gray, then you have a county sewer system that's fronting your lot. So at the time of rebuild, you'd be required to connect to the county system at that time. If your lot is blue, then you do not have an existing county sewer system fronting your lot. And then you would have guidance under the DOH to reuse your cesspool. And I apologize if I didn't get all of the questions. That was a lot to digest. But if not, you can email me with that specific question, and I'll be more than happy to answer it after. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, Shane. You can also just FYI to the person who did ask that question, you can also visit mauirecovers.org/wastewater, and there is a fact sheet on there that will explain a little more as far as cesspool guidance. And as far as we also have the maps on there that you can check your wastewater status under maps and data. So that's also a big help for people. Next, let's see. This one be for, I believe for Mima, possibly. With the planned opening of Lahaina Luna Road in August, will this reopening be 24/7? Heavy traffic doesn't occur 24/7, so properties along the route could be accessed by unauthorized people with no placards. Sorry, is that right on?
Yeah, sorry, I was actually saw the email from Megan. I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, no problem. I'll repeat that question. With the planned reopening of Lahaina Luna Road in August, will this reopening be 24/7? because heavier traffic doesn't occur 24/7. So properties along the route could be accessed by unauthorized people with no placards.
Okay, so with the opening of Lahaina Luna Road, any zones that are along Lahaina Luna Road that we have not gone unrestricted still will be secure. So any of the barricades we would have to put in place, and if need be, we'll have checkpoints.
Thank you, Everett. All right, this could be for me, for maybe Jordan. As an owner builder, does the framing part of this building need a licensed framing contractor to frame the house?
Per the International Residential Code 2018, there's two ways to go about building something. One is performance-based, one's prescriptive. So if you're building out of the code and it's prescriptively designed, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Let's see here, I just missed one. Oh, this would be for possibly HUD or Wendy. During the rebuild, mortgage and HOA, mortgage and HOA payments are required. We are not allowed to collect insurance and must wait for the rebuild. How can we get help from with the payments? Forbearance could be a financial nightmare. Unfortunately, Wells Fargo is extremely hard.
I was hoping that Janet would take it. We in my assignments we don't have a solution for that gap, but I know that CNHA does have some programs for that. So can we follow up with CNHA, Stephanie, on that? Thank you.
All right, sounds good, Wendy. Thank you. Let's see. This will be our last question because we are approaching the 7 o'clock cutoff time here to end our webinar. Let's see. Regarding the commercial issue, what about structures that are duplexes and fourplexes? These are not apartment buildings. I'm not sure if Jordan can answer that one.
Yeah. Essentially, if it's not a single family home, it's permitted and regulated, similar to a commercial structure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordan. Yeah, so yeah, again, we're right up against time here. So I would like to thank everyone for coming to this webinar tonight, attending, asking your questions. You know, I think we were able to get a lot answered. We are keeping a record of all these questions that were both submitted beforehand and then also during the webinar. And we will effort to get more of those questions answered. As a reminder, we will have a video recording of this webinar available on mauirecovers.org for you to reference later on, as well as the slides from the presentation. And you can visit mauirecovers.org for all the latest updates, including data maps, like you saw earlier today, and the closeout, the closeout map that you were able to get your closeout package from. It's all on that website. So yeah, again, I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. Very appreciate it. And have a good night. Mahalo for attending.